welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I'm a teacher and author, and this is English Nerd. So as many of you know, I wrote a Hamlet retelling, Soliloquies. It's a dark academia Hamlet retelling set in the 1920s. So obviously I am obsessed with Hamlet. I also have a scene-by-scene breakdown of the entire play on this channel, which I would highly recommend if you're studying the play. However, I decided to do a breakdown of the soliloquies, specifically not just Hamlet soliloquies, but soliloquies from a variety of Shakespearean plays. So today I wanted to tackle what was Abe Lincoln's favorite of the soliloquies in the play, and that is Claudius's. Claudius, the antagonist, has one soliloquy in Hamlet, and frankly, it's one of my favorites as well. It's tough to say that it's my very favorite, but it has moments that just break open the whole meaning of the play, and I think it's extraordinary. So we are going to talk about Claudius's soliloquy in Act 3, Scene 3 of Hamlet. Hope you enjoy. All right, to give you some context about where this is, it's in Act 3, Scene 3 of Shakespeare's Hamlet, which is directly in the middle of the play. This is considered by most people to be the turning point. Some people call it the climax, but I don't prefer that terminology since it can get confused with the ending. But if you look at a tragic plot structure that begins with exposition, there is a turning point there, the inciting incident, and then everything seems to be going well for the protagonist, and then there's a downward turn where everything unravels and falls apart, catastrophe strikes. This is right at the top of that pyramid, this scene. So it's incredibly important in its position in the play, and just a really good speech. So the king has just witnessed the play within a play that depicted a reenactment of the murder that he committed as he took out his brother to get the throne and get his wife. And so now he's thinking about what he's done. He's coming face to face with his sins, essentially, and here is what he does with that. Begins, "Oh, my offense is rank." So my offense is rank. Rank just means it's obvious on the one hand. So a rank disregard, for example, would be like utter, complete, obvious disregard. So my offense is rank, so it means that. But it also means rank as in something that stinks, like a musty basement is rank. So we mean both here. Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. So there's that second meaning of the word, right? It hath the primal eldest curse upon it, a brother's murder. What he's referring to there is the story of Cain and Abel in Genesis, where Cain was upset that God preferred his brother's offering, and so in revenge he took out his own brother. So there's a lot of lore around the idea of Cain and the curse that is upon him for what he did. So that's what that's referring to. Pray, can I not? So he's trying to pray, but he cannot pray. Though inclination be as sharp as will. So he wants to pray, and but he can't, even if his will is as strong as his inclination to do it. Hopefully that makes sense. My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. And like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin and both neglect. So he's bound to double business. It's like he's pulled in both directions. He has something pulling him in this direction, something pulling him in the opposite direction, and so he is frozen, he's paralyzed, he's unable to pray, which he wants to, because of his stronger guilt. It's almost like these are two fighters. My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. So he wants to pray, he wants forgiveness, but his guilt is too strong to allow him to go down that path. So because he feels so torn, he stands in pause and he neglects both. So he's He's not really feeling all that guilty, which is interesting. Like, part of him is, but part of him isn't. And he's not really able to pray either. He's just stuck, not quite knowing how he feels or how to proceed. What if this cursed hand, he continues, were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? So this is some typical imagery, the idea of washing sin away until it's white as snow. Is the rain going to wash it away? These are some very common and even biblical analogies to visualize washing away sin. In this case, his sin is represented aptly by the image of blood on his hands. Could it not be washed away? This reminds me quite a bit of the line in Macbeth as well, when Macbeth says, basically, could I wash this blood off my hands? No. The entire ocean would become bloody before the water could wash me clean again. So there's a similar sensation here. He's imagining what it would be like. Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offense. So we have some older language here. Visage means the face, basically, and then whereto is in context, basically, for what purpose is mercy, like, why does mercy exist except to confront offenses? If people weren't guilty, there would be no need for mercy. And so, what is the point of mercy if it's not able to confront a sin like mine, is the gist of that question. And what's in prayer but this twofold force? To be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down. So prayer can do two things, he's saying. It can stop someone before they fall into a sin, error, or it can forgive, pardon those who have already crossed that threshold. And he puts himself in this latter category. So after thinking, okay, mercy exists for the guilty, prayer is partially for the guilty. Okay, maybe there's something in this, maybe there's some hope for me. Then I'll look up. I like the way that this is just a very short sentence. It draws a lot of attention to it. It's like a punctuation mark in the middle of this inner set of thoughts. My fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. So my sin is in the past, but what can I really say is what he's going on about. Could I just say forgive my murder? And then he goes on for the reasons with the reasons that he feels he cannot be forgiven for that murder. That cannot be, he says, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense. This question right here is, in my opinion, the crux of this entire speech. It's the most compelling question he asks, and the one that really makes sense of all of his thought processes and decisions in this and the rest of the scene. So he feels that he cannot be forgiven because he still has the things that he gained through committing the murder. He still has the crown that he got because of it. He has his own ambition, and he married the queen because of that action that he took. May one be pardoned and retain the offense. He wants to keep what he gained by such a terrible action. Obviously, he wanted it a lot, or else he wouldn't have committed the sin to begin with. So can he keep everything? Can he keep the queen? Can he keep the crown? And still be pardoned? He wants forgiveness. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. This is the question. If you're doing this as a monologue or something, I would really put a lot of emphasis on that line. In the corrupted currents of this world, so before he was talking about more heavenly justice, heavenly mercy, but now he's saying, all right, in the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. So in the world, in our world, sometimes the wicked prize itself can buy out the law. So he's saying, I got all this stuff by offing my brother. In a court of law here on earth, sometimes it's the very ill-gotten gains that can pay off a judge, that can like buy justice, essentially. He sees that a lot, but 'tis not so above. So by contrast, you cannot bribe the heavens, you cannot bribe God. Instead, there is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. So the action lies in its true nature here. He's saying that there is no ambiguity there. Murder is murder, and that's just the way it is. You can't shuffle, you can't trick the justice system of the heavens, if you will. Instead, we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. That's we are compelled to come face to face with the reality of what we've done, and there's no getting around it like there might be in an earthly court of law. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? O wretched state, O bosom black as death, O limed soul that struggling to be free art more engaged. Help, angels, make essay. Bow stubborn knees and heart with strings of steel. Be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well. Okay, there's a lot here, but I feel like it all kind of goes together, which is why I read it all at the same time. If you notice, the syntax shifts. Up here, he does have a lot of questions, but they tend to be multifaceted, complex sentences and that kind of thing. But here we have a lot of short ones. What then? What rests? What can it not? Even the exclamations get short. Help, angels, and even the longer sentences are broken up with a lot of commas. O wretched state, O bosom black as death, O limed soul. It's almost like he's hyperventilating. You get this sense of desperation from all of these very short, desperate sounding sentences. So he feels trapped, like at the beginning of the soliloquy when he said that he feels like a man to double business bound who can't move in a particular direction. He wants forgiveness, but he wants what he gained from his offense. And so he's thinking, can it hurt to try to pray and get forgiveness? But how could I be forgiven? He's spiraling here, and understandably so. He's struggling to be free, but even as he struggles to be forgiven, he is trapped even more. It's almost like there are all these strings kind of binding him tighter to his earlier bad decisions. He cries out for help from the angels. Make essay just basically means help again, just in a different way. And then he tells himself, bow stubborn knees and heart with strings of steel. Be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well. He's trying to direct himself to pray, to at least try. He knows that he's stubborn. He knows that he wants to keep everything that he gained, but he's coming face to face with the reality of what he's done and the fact that some people might know what he's done as well. I love the drama of this moment. He kneels, and then Hamlet walks in, who is the person who wants to get revenge on him. He finds Claudius alone, unarmed, and praying as he kneels. So if you want to look at the rest of the scene, please read the play. Hopefully you have already read this scene, but if you haven't, it's just extraordinary. So I hope that was helpful. There's always more that I could talk about with all of these scenes, so if there's something that you want to address or a question that I didn't cover, then put that in the comments below. So there you go. If you want to use the analysis and summary that I gave in a paper or something like that, you have two options. One is reference my channel, reference my work, or two, do some additional digging of your own. It's plagiarism just to take information and pass it off as yours. So just your standard disclaimer, boilerplate. But I hope that was enlightening for you. I really like this speech. So yeah, is there anything that I missed that you would like to add in the comments down below? If so, then let me know. Otherwise, have a good life, be of good cheer, subscribe to this channel for more English nerdy goodness, and I'll see you next week.